Hi Crafty friend, it's me, Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today we're going to be stitching and talking about some cute stamps to go with stitching projects. So first I'm going to show you how I stitch this background piece. It is so beautiful when it is done. I wanted to combine the stitching dies that just came out with some beautiful Simon Hurley stamps. So I'm going to start with making a background for my cute little sisters that I have up on the top right corner. They're ice skating, so we're going to create a little bit of a winter wonderland for the two gals. And when I stitch, I like to just enjoy myself, and it's a way that I can decompress and get a little bit of stress relief, if you will. So I have all of the techniques that I'm using on camera here, but I do have a portion of this where I am not on camera, so just FYI. But if you have any questions about stitching, please let me know. I do have a 2-part playlist on my channel of Stitching 101. So if you're brand new to stitching, check out those videos. I have tons of tips and tricks and different products that I like to use. And I show you all the different methods and stitches that I know. So there you have it. We're going to start this one off by taping the tail, if you will. And I'm using some beautiful gold thread from DMC. So what I'm doing here, we're all nice and close, zoomed up. We're going to do a circle stitch, if you will, which is a bunch of stitches going into one center. So yes, this is a triangle, but basically we're going in a circle and going into that middle section. Anytime I do different stitching sections, I always go up the outside and into the center. Now you can see on here there are lines that are more of a design line, not for actual stitching, but I'll just show you here what that might look like. But you can see that that little diamond is the stitched area. So I'm going to go up into the next little diamond from the outside and down the center. Can you do it the other way? Yes, you can. But this is the method that I found works really well, because when you come up the center, sometimes you can push some of your older stitches that you've already done up, and it just becomes a mess. So I always, as I'm making a mess with my tail, but I always go down the center and up the outside. It just works for me, and to me, like I said, stitching is a stress reliever, so I want it to be a nice activity that I can do and not something that I have to think about. So when I am doing this, I always go up the outside and down the center. So for this background, I'm basically going to repeat that section over and over and over. But I do have some cutesy pootsy stamps that I'm going to put over top of this, like I said before and I showed you before. So I'm not going to stitch the whole thing. Shocker. I know, crazy, isn't it? But I'm going to, in just a couple minutes, put the stamps over some of the areas, and I will not be stitching. I almost said stamping. I will not be stitching those areas. So you kind of get the gist of how I would stitch this background. In total, I would say that my brain gets distracted pretty easily, but stitching this background probably took me about 40-ish minutes if I had to sit and time myself. But I like to either put a podcast on, listen to music, whatever it might be, watch a crafty friend on YouTube, or call a friend even, and just enjoy stitching. So I don't always pay attention to how long things take. But I do get that question often. So I do have tons and tons of stitching videos on my channel for basically every stitching die that has come out from Spellbinders. I did not opt to get the tree that came with the stitching collection, since I do have a stitching Christmas tree already. I figured I need to show other techniques. So here I am making this background, and then we're going to do the cute Christmas lights in just a couple minutes. So now I'm going to place my stamps down, and really what I've discovered is the door is thick enough that it will cover some of the stitching areas. The little girls aren't really big enough to cover a full section of a diamond. So I'm going to grab a very high-tech tool, a pencil, and basically just kind of draw out which sections can I skip. Yes, you could stitch the whole thing. If that's your thing, you go for it. But to me, I figured if I could save a little bit of thread, a little bit of time, let's do it. So really it's only two triangles, or not triangles, diamonds that I am skipping, but such is life. The sentiments on these stamp sets are so cute as well. The one with the girl and the door, the girls in the door, that one is called Sketched Christmas Clear Stamp Set. And not only does it have the cute girls and the door, it has a sled with 2 bunnies, it has a dog and a present, it has stockings, and it also has this gorgeous vintage, if you will, or more traditional style Christmas tree, which is stunning. So, and it has a lot of very heartfelt sentiments, such as the one that I'm using on this card. The one I'm using, well, I'm using 2. It says Merry Christmas with the scripty Christmas, and then it says May your home, no, I use Warmest Wishes. Warmest wishes on a beautiful holiday and a happy new year. So not only is this Christmassy, it's also just kind of wintry. So I love that. So there is my background all stitched up, super cute, and just this alone would be a very gorgeous card front. You could get really funky with your stitches, change your colors up, do an ombre or a diagonal color change. I think that that would be really cool. But for now, this is the one I've got for you on the video. Now let's get to the second card. We're going to do all the stitching first, and then we will do the assembling at the end. So for this card, I'm using the Stitch Christmas Lights, and then I'm going to pair that with the Sketched Snowman clear stamps. And I am going to use 2 of the snowmen, and then I'm using the sentiment, there's nobody like you, because I love a pun, so that happened. Anyway, when I stitch, I use 3 threads, so let's get real close, nice and close, so we can see all the goodness. Again, we're circle stitching it up in here. So for my Christmas light, it is a small piece. It is smaller than some of my nails. I know I have long nails in this video. Don't even get me started. I had a time with these nails. They're now shorter. But anyway, I'm going to hide my tail. So I'm going to go down the center and then go across and tuck that little piece in. Down the center. And I lost my needle. This is real, people. Should I tell you? These are my real nails, by the way. And in between this video and me filming this voiceover, I broke 3 of them. Anyway, back at it. Down the center. And we're going to go up the side. Careful to hold that tail in place so it is nice and secure. And basically after maybe 2 or 3 stitches, that is secure and lovely. Speaking of glitter paper, I know in my last video I talked about glitter cardstock. I used white glitter cardstock on my first card for my stitching, and then I'm using all Spellbinders cardstock on this Christmas light video. Christmas light card. The blue here is from the spring pack, and then the green and the pink are from, I think, the jewel tones. So I love glitter cardstock. Anytime I can pull it out and use it, I'm going to. So I'm just going to finish up this light, and then I will, well, actually I have done that already on all the other lights, so we will get to the assembly of the pieces. So maybe you're asking yourself, how are you going to stick that on a card? It's thread and floss. Let's see. I'm going to backstitch my little ornament here. I usually do it twice. Sometimes if I'm feeling insecure, I'll do it 3 times, but twice works. Give it a snip, and we're good. Oh, did I talk about the background on my snowman card? Oh, it is so good. It is an embossing folder, and it has a stencil that goes with it. Now for this background, I did not use a stencil. I actually just used Copic markers to color it. So you might be asking, how do you Copic color on an embossed background? Gently. I will tell you, it's gentle. So you take your white piece of paper, put it in your embossing folder, and emboss the paper. And then you're going to take your Copic markers and color it on the raised areas. So for this background, I used a green, blue, and a pink. And then I used a kind of a cool gray or a C, I think I used C5 of Copic markers for the wire. And then for the die cuts that make the light bulb, like the holder part of the bulb, I used a beautiful cardstock from Spellbinders that's part of the silver collection of cardstock. So I will just put this beautiful stitching piece right onto my card base. I am going to go a little bit crazy with the amount of double-sided adhesive I'm using here because it is a stitch card and there's not as many places for it to stick to. So whenever I put on a card front, I line up the left side and then gently press to the right. And that typically gets me a straight card front. If it's not straight, I usually try to make it straight or cut off the edge that isn't. So I'm going to take my bone folder here and then just gently press on some of the edges just to make sure everything is nice and stuck. And it looks like it is. So there's what it looks like from the inside. All good. So when I'm adhering the rest of my little pieces here to my scene, I am going to use foam tape and give everything a little bit of a pop with dimension. Dimension is so fun for cards, and I've been using foam like crazy ever since I got these foam strips. So I've been loving that. So we're gonna pop everything up and let's check out the finished project. Ta-da, there it is. So cute. I think that now looking back, I would probably like to add some embellishments to the background, but I definitely enjoyed stitching this card and coloring the beautiful stamped images. So this is a stamp set that I will be going to again. All right, technique for putting on card fronts number 2. I did not make this up. I have no idea who did. I watch a lot of card content online over the last couple years. So if it's you, good for you. I'm proud of you and I will cite you, but I don't know. My friend showed this to me, so I'm just going to say that it was somebody's idea, not mine, but I'm going to show it to you. You put adhesive on all the corners, you bend a little bit of the corner back, you put your card base on, and let it catch on the left side just a little until it's nice and straight. Push it down on the left side. Make sure that little bit of adhesive that's showing is stuck. Push down the rest of the areas that have the adhesive, give it a firm press, and then all you do is pull these off. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. It is that easy. Now, I've done that a few times in my life, like a couple hundred. So yes, it looks easy when I do it. If you try it and it doesn't work, just try again. I'm sure it'll be fine. All right. Let's pop up these little snowmen that I put in a little arch die. I'm going to center them, well, kind of one more like of an alignment. I'm going to align them to the right bottom corner. And I have my little cord for my lights and then my sentiment there. I ended up not liking the pink that I put around it, so it's going to get chopped off, but you'll see that in a minute. Now I'm going to arrange my lights. I chose to have 2 pink lights and 1 blue, 1 green, just because I wanted the pink to kind of be a nod to the background paper that I used. But I felt like this pink on the edge was just too pink. So I ended up chopping it off here with a little bit of a scissor moment, which is fine because it still is a thicker piece. So it definitely has more of a piece to hold itself up with, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm going to add a little bit of foam to the side here and then a little bit of glue. So the glue is going to touch the arch area and the foam will go on the background. And that just makes the sentiment not sag down because of the arch being popped up. I wanted everything to be the same layer. Then I'm going to take some liquid glue on this wire and glue it right down. I think that this looks so cute with the embossing folder background. It is one of my favorite cards that I've made this Christmas card season. Should we go on a bit of a tangent here? I already have all my Christmas cards written out and addressed. And you might say, what? It is, well, it's all end of September, end of August when I'm filming this. But yeah, I do it every July, and it's part of my summer routine as a teacher. If I don't do it in the summer, I don't send out Christmas cards. That's just how it is. So I, in our remodeling and move, found a whole bunch of old Christmas cards that are beautiful Thomas Kincaid Christmas cards that I bought a long time ago, and I used them up. So that's what I'm sending out for Christmas this year. My plan for next Christmas is to use cards I have made and send them out to loved ones. So that's the plan, at least. We'll see if that actually happens. See what next summer brings. Who knows, a whole year from now. Please let me know in the comments which card is your favorite. I would like to say my favorite is the Snowman card because they are so cute, and I love non-traditional colors for Christmas cards, but the two little sisters skating is adorable, and I love the stitch background. So it is a close situation, but I definitely think the Snowmen win. Yes, I'm using my reverse tweezers and scissors as a weight for those pieces to get weighed down. But ta-da, there it is, the two finished cards. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end, and if you have liked the video or learned anything, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. If you're wondering about any of the products I used, I do have links to everything in the description. I also have some really great general links, so if you're looking for examples for like what are the fun embellishments I like or paper, check out those links, and also check out the stitching playlist that I will also have linked below. We'll see you later. Bye, Crafty friend.